Okay, hello everybody. If you are listening to this lecture, you are registered for Phil 28, Ethics in Society 2. This is the first lecture of this course. My name is Rosalind Chaplin, and I will be your instructor for this course. This lecture is one of a four-part series of lectures that go with day one. So in this particular lecture, we will just be talking through course logistics. And in the other three lectures that you will find posted today on Canvas, you will see a little bit more about the details of the course. So let's get started. Alrighty. So the agenda for today is somewhat typical for a first day lecture. We'll begin with some introductions. This course will have two TAs who I'll introduce you to shortly. We'll review a little bit about the content of the course. We'll talk through some logistics. I'm sure many of you have taken an online course before at this point, but if you haven't, this will be important for you so that you can know where to expect to find the different components of the course, how the course will work, and so forth. I want to talk a little bit through what you should expect to get out of this course. So the course aims, we'll talk through the assignment structures, and then I want to just say a few words about this very strange and stressful world we live in, and what you should do if you have some emergencies that arise over the course of this Summer Session 2 course. Okay, so like I said, my name is Rosalind. You may just call me Rosalind. My email address is here. It will also be posted on Canvas. The two best ways to reach me always are through email or through the messaging feature of Canvas. And I haven't set my office hours yet because I'm recording this video before the actual start of Summer Session 2, and a few of my scheduling logistics are still being determined, but I will be posting my office hours on Canvas as soon as possible. And just a word of a note on office hours. If you can't make my normal office hours, do email me and let me know if you'd like to chat. I realize that people kind of have crazy lives right now, so I'd like to be as flexible as possible within reason. Of course, come to my regularly scheduled time if you can. The TAs for this course are Nate and Andy. These TAs will not be leading discussion sections because we will have no discussion sections, but they will be grading, and they will occasionally be available for office hours, and they will also be monitoring the discussion boards, which I will talk about shortly. Their office hours too will be posted on Canvas soon. Okay, so what is this course about? The broad theme of this course is as follows. So many of the moral problems that concern us seem to be much bigger than ourselves. For example, climate change is a problem, but it's not clear that I can do anything about it. Likewise, voting certainly seems important, but when I really start to think about it, I might start wondering, does my vote really make a difference, and therefore should I vote? So we will be looking at four different issues that relate to this theme. This broad theme being, how should we understand our role as individuals in moral problems that emerge at the level of groups? Here are the four themes that we'll focus on. Two of them I've just mentioned. The first is individual responsibility for climate change. The second is the rationality of voting. The third is racism in the individual and in society. And the fourth is online public shaming. So in the next lecture, I will say a little bit more about each of these topics, but I just wanted you to know right off the bat what they will be. All right, so how will this course work in terms of logistics? The first thing you need to know is that absolutely everything is going to be on Canvas. Canvas is your place to go for everything you need. Pre-recorded lectures like this one will be posted on Canvas. The Zoom link for optional live classes will also be posted on Canvas. So we will be meeting live twice a week. You'll see more about this on the syllabus. The live classes are going to meet during the second hour of the class meeting time listed on Canvas. Again, I'll announce this in a Canvas announcement as well. And at these meetings, I will be recording the meetings so that those of you that can't attend in person will still have access to the material. When I say that the meetings are optional, that means that whether you show up to those live meetings or not isn't attached to any point-related aspect of the course. I know many of you may not even be in the United States, so attending a live session may be hard for some of you. For those of you that can come, though, I'm going to try my best to make them very useful so that you can get done in those live sessions things that will help you complete parts of the course that are required. You'll hear more about that, too, in the coming days. Course readings are also going to be posted on Canvas. There will be some quizzes in this course, and these will be ones that you take on Canvas as well. These quizzes are obviously, because they're on Canvas and you'll be at home with your computer and everything, they will be open book, so you can use your lecture recordings, whatever notes you take from live sessions, the readings. You can look at all these materials during the quiz. The point of the quizzes is to help you get more out of the readings and learn from them. More details on the quizzes will also be forthcoming. Because we will be canceling live discussion sections, we will be using a discussion board to replace this component of the course. This too is something we'll talk more about in the coming days. And then finally, I am going to do some very short participation polls, which will also be on Canvas. And these will be a poll which I'll use, for example, before we start a unit to kind of gauge the class on a particular issue. So to find out what the class thinks as a whole. And this way, when we meet in live sections, I may be able to report to you what the entirety of the class thinks about some issue going into it, and it'll help us sort of track whether our views on any issues change throughout the course. And finally, like I mentioned before, I'll be posting my Zoom link for office hours on Canvas as well. The syllabus will also be posted to Canvas, and you should take some time to look through it just because everything you need to know about the course should be contained on the syllabus. If I left something out, of course, let me know, but it will have links to many of the assignment descriptions. It will also contain many of the policies of the course, so be sure to take a look at the syllabus posted on Canvas. Okay, and now just a little bit about the aims of this course. So in terms of content, really, I want you to master the core philosophical concepts and distinctions that we're going to be using in the debates we'll be addressing in this course. I will be trying to post some reading questions at the top of your readings that will help you to know what concepts are important, but the lectures will also be a place for you to look to figure out, what concepts am I supposed to be learning here? How do I know if I'm prepared for the quizzes, and so on. The rest of the course aims are really skill-based, and these skills are ones I think should serve you in probably any discipline. One is to improve your ability to reconstruct the arguments of others. So that means when you read an argument, can you figure out really what is this person trying to prove? What's the evidence that they have? And do the premises that they give you in support of their conclusion actually entail the conclusion they say it does? A related skill is to improve your ability to test the arguments of others for plausibility. So this means when you consider another person's argument, can you come up with, say, an objection to their argument that might really put pressure on it and figure out whether the argument is plausible? This will be a skill we'll practice a lot, both in papers and in the discussion boards and basically in everything we do in this course. Of course, this class also is part of the Warren College Writing Program, so we're also going to be practicing actually putting your own arguments into writing rather than just having them in your head. So these are to some extent two separate skills. Whether you can get clear on an argument in your head and then whether you can express it clearly in writing are two separate things, and we're going to be working on both of those skills. And then finally, we are going to work on our abilities to read philosophical texts. And this feeds into the other skills in the sense that oftentimes reading a philosophical text means that you should be looking for what's the main conclusion of this argument, what are the premises that support that conclusion, and does the argument have any gaps that the author isn't acknowledging? Those kinds of questions. As for the assignment types in this course, you will write 2 papers. The first paper will be worth 25% of your grade, the second 35% of your grade. Detailed instructions on these 2 assignments will be forthcoming. As I mentioned earlier, you will also take quizzes. There will be 1 quiz for each unit, and there are 5 units. The first unit is actually not really a content-related unit. It contains the content of these 4 lectures on day 1. So you will have a short quiz on the first 4 lectures, and then the other 4 quizzes will be focusing more on the issues that we'll be studying in this course. So climate change, voting, racism, and online shaming. The discussion board posts are the next component. Right now I have the discussion board posts at 15% and the quizzes at 15%. I think things will stay this way, but if that makes calculating the grades tricky, I may swap this slightly. So the syllabus is the final word on the percentages devoted to the discussion board posts and the quizzes respectively. Canvas polls will be like a participation grade in the sense that if you do them, you will get full credit. So if you do all the Canvas polls, this is sort of a guaranteed full credit on 10% of the grade for this course. Please see the syllabus for the late policy. Because this is a summer session course, things are super compressed, as you know, and this means that we can't have too much leniency with respect to late assignments. The TAs have a super quick turnaround time for grading, especially on papers, so as a general matter, there's not going to be a lot of leeway with respect to turning things in late, but the syllabus lays all this out, and you will be able to drop your worst quiz. So that gives you a little bit of flexibility with respect to, maybe even missing a quiz, or if you just are not happy with one of the grades, that your worst quiz will be dropped. Let's see, what else? Yes, the disclaimer that I'm still finalizing the percentage of the grade devoted to quizzes and discussion board posts, respectively, so keep in mind that the syllabus is the final word on that. Okay, and finally, I just wanted to say that, even though I've said that because this is a summer session course, we don't have a lot of leeway with respect to things being turned in late, this is obviously a pretty crazy time for all of us, I think. Everybody in the last few months, and maybe in the coming month, has been having family emergencies and personal emergencies that they haven't expected. Just few weeks ago, I guess, a bunch of you, if you're international students, you weren't even sure that you were going to be allowed to stay in this country to take courses. So times are quite stressful for all of us, not to mention the pandemic. So please do be in touch with me if you have an emergency. Overall, I think a lot of professors are trying to be more flexible right now about these things than in normal times, because people are really subject to extraordinary stress, and I would like to do that as well. So do be in touch with me if you have an emergency. The other thing I'll say is that because this is not a live course, I get a lot less feedback from you just by seeing your faces in a live session every day. So whereas in normal courses, I feel like I kind of know when students are having some kind of crisis in their lives because maybe they stop showing up or it's kind of evident in discussion. I don't get that feedback now, so I really need you to communicate with me if you're having an issue. And related to this, if your daily circumstances are making it difficult for you to complete some part of the course, let me know right away as far as you can. So, if you don't have the kind of computer access you need, that's something I need to know as early as possible. And just please don't be shy about getting in touch with me about these kinds of things. Okay, so this, I believe, is the end of our first introductory lecture. You will see 3 more lectures posted for day 1 today, so I will see you shortly.